Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Naya Faiza Kirana. I'm from 2023 international class, and my student ID is 064. So today I'm going to present my research with title Forecasting Product Demand in the FMCG Industry using machine learning based on macroeconomic indicators. Okay, so the background is the fast moving consumer goods or FMCG industry faces serious challenges in predicting demand accurately. So this is because product demand is strongly influenced by macroeconomic indicators such as inflation, unemployment rate, exchange rates, and consumer confidence. So unfortunately, traditional forecasting methods are often too simplistic and fail to reflect this complex relationship. So as a result, businesses risk overstocking or understocking, which impacts supply chains and customer satisfaction. Okay, so to solve this, my research uses a machine learning based approach, starting with a linear regression to model the relationship between these variables and product demand. Okay, for the problem statement, the study addresses two main research questions. The first one is, to what extent do macroeconomic indicators influence FMCG product demand? And second, how accurate is linear regression in modeling and forecasting that demand? So yeah, we aim to explore this question through a quantitative approach that combines both macroeconomic data and company sales records. Okay, so for the research gap, so previous studies mainly focus on internal company data such as historical sales, promotional trends, or seasonal cycles. So these models often lack context from the broader economy. The study fills that gap by integrating external macroeconomic indicators into the prediction model, which allow us to capture more realistic real-time demand behavior. So, okay, for the research gap, I just made a table which it can be make you guys easier to understand, like for what aspect and from the previous research and my research difference. So the first one is aspect. First aspect is type of data used. So from previous research, internal data only, so they only use historical sales records, seasonal trends, and promotion. But in my research, I combine internal sales data with external macroeconomic indicators. And for the second aspect is responsiveness to economic changes. So from the previous research, there have a low responsiveness models that cannot adapt to macroeconomic shifts like inflation or prices. And for my research is the responsiveness is high, considers real-time economic variables such as inflation and unemployment. And the third one is prediction accuracy. So from the previous researches, they often limited and unstable during external shocks, for the example, pandemic and currency crash. And for my research is more accurate and robust by integrating broader economic context. And for the fourth one is business context. From the previous research is micro level only, focuses on past trends within a company. And from my research is both micro and micro level accounts for national economic trends and consumer behavior. And for the last one is strategic insights. From the previous research, they limited mostly short-term or reactive. And from my research is broader insights for pricing, inventory, and production planning based on economic data. So why quantitative? So this research uses a quantitative method because the objective is to statistically measure relationship between macroeconomic factors and product demand. So for the quantitative analysis is the first one to ensure objectivity and measurability. The second one is to help to identify cause-effect relationships. And third one is enables forecasting using historical data. So we use secondary data from 2018 to 2023 and evaluate the model using MAE and R squared as performance metrics. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the reason and explanation why I use quantitative. The first one is for the data availability. Uses secondary numerical data for the example historical sales and macroeconomic indicators from 2018 until 2023. So, and the second one is predictive objective. And the goal is to build a forecasting model, not just understand qualitative behavior. And the third one is need for accuracy and generalization. Enables validation of model performance using clear and repeatable metrics like MAE and R squared and the other one. And also the last one is comparability with other models. Results can be benchmarked and improved through comparison with previous models or alternate methods. Okay, next is research method. So I use a multiple linear regression model and applying it to monthly sales data and macroeconomic indicators such as like inflation, exchange rate, IDR and USD, unemployment rate, and consumer confidence index. So the data was cleaned, normalized, and then split into 80% training and 20% testing. We also use key-fold cross validation to avoid overfitting and improve model generalization. So to further improve accuracy, I perform grid search for hyperparameter tuning and residual analysis to ensure model assumptions like linearity and homoscedasticity were satisfied. Okay, now we're on flowchart research. The first one is, of course, problem identification. The research begins by identifying the core issue, namely the difficulty in accurately forecasting product demand in the FMCG sector due to the influence of various complex macroeconomic variables. So the study also recognized that the lack of the approaches that comprehensively integrate historical sales data with external economic factors. And the second one is literature review. So this stage involves reviewing relevant theories and prior studies. The literature focuses on the use of machine learning in forecasting, the impact of key macroeconomic indicators on consumer behavior, and the application of models such as linear regression, random forest, XGBoost, and LSTM in FMCG demand prediction. And the third one is population and sample. So the study utilizes secondary data from two main sources. The first one is monthly sales data of FMCG products by category, and the second one is macroeconomic data, including inflation, exchange rates, unemployment rates, and the consumer confidence index. And the data spans from 2018 to 2023. And the fourth one is data collection. So data is collected from reliable sources such as the Central Statistics Agency or BPS yang bisa kita tahu, and FMCG companies. The data undergoes pre-processing, which includes cleaning, handling missing values, normalization, and feature engineering to ensure it is ready for modeling. And the fifth one is predictive model development. So this is the core phase of the research where a predictive model is built using the linear regression algorithm. The model is evaluated using metrics such as MAE or mean absolute error and R squared to assess prediction accuracy. To prevent overfitting, cross-validation, and is performed and hyperparameters are tuned using grid search. And the sixth one is demand prediction results. Once validated, the model The model is used to forecast FMCG product demand based on current macroeconomic data. The results are presented through a web-based platform that includes data visualization dashboards and reporting tools to support decision-making in inventory production and marketing planning. And the last one is results analysis. The predicted outcomes are quantitatively analyzed to assess the model's accuracy in capturing the relationship between macroeconomic variables and product demand. And this analysis is also used to test the hypothesis proposed earlier in the study. And the last one is conclusion and recommendation. The final stage summarizes the key findings and offers practical recommendation for stakeholders in the FMCG industry, especially concerning demand management, pricing strategy, and macroeconomic awareness. And also the study provides suggestions for future research, such as the incorporations of additional external variables and more advanced modeling techniques. Okay, now for the validation model, the first one is validation sample. So the data is from 2018 and 2023, and the dataset is split into 80% for training and 20% for testing. And we use key-fold cross-validation is applied to ensure robust model evaluation. And for the validation techniques, we use statistical metrics or MAE or mean absolute error and R squared, and residual analysis. And the second one is stability analysis out of sample testing using the test dataset. And the last one is assumption testing, re-evaluation of linearity, homoscedasticity, and normality of residuals. Okay, so right now we're in the web application development. The first one is, so what's the reason for choosing the approach? The first one is so that the model results can be used immediately by industry players. And the second one is provides a real-time database prediction dashboard. And the third one is simplifies the process of interpreting prediction results. And what method are we use? So development method is not focused on technical coding, but why? Okay. So the first one is web-based, so we get high accessibility and machine learning model integration, so we get immediate prediction results. And for the visualization, so we can get assist in inventory and production decision making. So although I'm not focusing on the coding, but the design emphasizes accessibility, automation, and visualization. Okay, now in research output and impact. Okay, now this research output and advantages. The first one is output. The first one is macroeconomic based FMCG demand prediction model. And second one is web application interactive dashboard. And for the advantages over other studies is, the first one is combination of internal and external data. That means more accurate predictions. And the second one is can be directly implemented in business operations. And the last one is to provide insight for stock, production, and promotion policies. Next. Okay, we are on the business and social impact. And for the business impact is to reduction of overstock and understock, to supply chain optimization, and the last one is for operational cost efficiency. And for the social impact is assist in data-driven decision making, improve consumer welfare through the availability of goods according to demand, and can be used as a reference for retail sector policy making when facing certain macroeconomic conditions. Okay, and for the conclusion is this study presents a data-driven approach to demand forecasting in the FMCG industry by integrating macroeconomic indicators with historical sales data using a quantitative predictive model by applying multiple linear regression and rigorous validation techniques, including MAE, R-squared, residual analysis, and key-fold cross-validation. And the model economic condition. And the model delivers reliable forecasts that reflect both internal business trends and external economic conditions. So the implementation of this model into a web-based platform enhances its practical value, providing stakeholders with real-time and actionable insights for inventory planning, production scheduling, and strategic decision-making. Ultimately, this research contributes not only to academic development in predictive analytics, but also offers tangible solutions to improve business responsiveness and competitiveness in dynamic marketing environments. So that's all for my presentation for my research. And thank you so much for listening. And thank you. Bye bye.